Did you even realize that I've been missing for nearly 3 weeks? Yes, and I don't know why I'm not hearing the news talk about this. I have been down with the flu, and this is like no other. I'm going to share with you my experiences. This is the end of week 3. I am still recovering and on medication. This flu is like no other, and I needed to come on here and explain why I've been missing. Canelo, by my side the whole time. The honest to God, the feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die, actually came over me a few times, truly. And I had the flu. I'm still recovering from the flu, and it's ridiculous. So I'm going to share with you my story and show you all the medications they've put me on. And my son, who is 24 years old, has the flu as well. And he is having a really hard time recovering. He is going on week 2 now. Really hard time. So let's go ahead and jump on into that story right now. So that's my cough after 3 weeks. It was 100 times worse. This is what happened. I flew over to Arizona about 2 weeks before Christmas. I flew over to Arizona to have a trip with my girlfriend and got sick on the trip. Walked into, I believe it was a Ross department store, and got sick. I don't know if there was so much dust in the air or whatever, but all of a sudden I started coughing, and of course the place was crowded, and I couldn't stop coughing, right? And so it progressed from there. So when I got home a few days later, like the cough just wouldn't stop. And so I told and I know my voice goes up and down in its volume and its decimals. That is just probably the congestion that I still have in my airways. Anyways, so I was like, great, I know it's not just allergies, it's probably bronchitis, because I get bronchitis every year, so I went to my doctor, and I told my doctor, look, like my chest, it feels a little tight, I have this cough, this hoarse, horrific cough, kind of like what you hear. I can't get rid of it. So she gave me some steroids, almost like prednisone, but it's not prednisone. All the medications I'm going to show you right here, picture by picture, or right here, or right here, or wherever in the video. So she gave me something like prednisone. I took it for 5 days. I felt fine. Honestly, I just have a cough. And you guys who suffer with bronchitis maybe might be able to relate. You get that cough, but your body sometimes feels like it can still go. Then you give me steroids and a cough syrup, post it somewhere here, and then you realize, like, oh, I feel great, So Eric and I, we went to Sandy Valley, Nevada. We stayed at a little a wagon there. I'll show you the pictures as I'm speaking. And I felt great. We cooked outside the whole bit. Came home. I was still fine. I was off the antibiotic for 1 day. 1 day. And I'm not the antibiotic. Sorry. Let's get my story straight. I was off the steroid for 1 day, and all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose. I was like coughing, couldn't control my coughing. I would eat, and I'm coughing so much that I actually went to the restroom, and I'm like, okay, guys, we're going to get TMI here, okay? We're very TMI, okay? But I'm keeping it real. I'm going to the restroom. Like, I can't stop coughing. Oh, I don't feel too good, like it's hurting my throat, the coughing, because the coughing was like nonstop, where you think like, what the frick is going on? And so I go over to my sink and I'm like, just like saliva, but almost like just water coming out of my mouth. And I'm like, whoa. I used to get that way when I was little and I would get car sick. You just constantly get the saliva, but it's like running like water. And I'm like, what the hell? And I'm spitting and spitting and spitting, bleh, all in my sink. Like everything I had eaten, because I reckon because the cough was so intense. Of course, then the drain to my sink won't come out. And so I got all this chunky chicken noodle soup in the sink. It's disgusting. I know. Okay. I'm like, great. I started getting fever. I started getting chills. I couldn't stop coughing. Yeah, I'm going to go there. Gosh, I can't believe I'm going to tell you this. Did you know that, well, you probably do know, but if you cough so much, you got liquids in your bladder, what do you think happens? Completely embarrassing, yeah. But true. So you're coughing and sometimes you pee. Not like full bladder, don't get me wrong, but you're having to change your panties, you know. So I do recommend, if you get sick and you're coughing a lot, just put a panty liner on or a pad. Okay, so that was a constant, right? And so I'm sick. I'm like, great, I'm going to go back to the doctor. So I go back to the doctor and I'm like, I go back to the doctor the next day. So I went one day without the antibiotics, went back to the doctor the next day. I have a really high tolerance for pain. Like, really high tolerance for pain. And I was in so much pain that I was crying. And I don't cry. And I was, like, crying. I was in so much pain. And the doctor says, Christina, you're positive for the flu. Remember, mind you, this is 5, 6, 7 days later, positive for the flu. You're at the height of the flu right now. And I'm like, everything hurts. You know, like my throat hurts. It feels like I have cuts in my throat. Everything hurts. Everything hurts. Mind you, I'm waiting at the doctor's office because they're so busy with all these patients. I'm waiting there for like 3 hours. 3 hours. And I felt like I was going to fucking die. I mean, honestly, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, I need to lay down. I need to lay down. I need to lay down. And you have to sit there, you know, and you're trying to like lean against the wall and nothing's comforting. Anyways, so he gave me this medication right here, and it's Tamiflu. So Tamiflu actually helps the flu from going on for so long. Okay, so I got home, took the Tamiflu, took the cough suppressant he gave me, and passed out. Pretty much passed out. Like, I slept for 3 days. 3 days I slept. And I'm not talking about, oh, I took a little nap for a few hours or I slept 8 hours. With no exaggeration. Oh, my lips. I slept almost 24 hours the first day. Probably 20 hours the next day. And probably 18 hours the following day. I knew in my head the whole time that I'm passed out, you know, sleeping, that I need to hydrate myself. And I'm like, I can't even manage to get out of bed. I can barely like go to the restroom, and I'm coughing so much that I didn't want to drink anything because I didn't want to have to be cleaning myself up or peeing on myself. Okay, and I don't care if you have if you do Kegels every freaking day, when you cough in the amount where you're coughing like every few minutes for hours. There's nothing that's going to help you from not peeing, okay? So I don't give a if you're like 21 years old. It just puts a lot of strain on your insides and you're going to pee. So I was thinking, like, I'm through, I'm going through all of this, right? I'm thinking I need to drink. So that first day, like I told you, I passed out that very, very first day. And I'm like, I'm not going to drink water. I'm not going to drink tea. I'm not going to drink Gatorade. What am I going to drink? So this, okay, and just stick with me for a second. This Cocoa Love, 100% coconut water, never from concentrate, tastes like you were on the beach in Cancun and somebody came by and cut a fresh, young coconut for you and put a straw in it. And the fact that this is 100% coconut water, it gives you, and the reason I picked this, right? Not only is the flavor amazing, it has no additives of sugar or anything. It is literally what coconut water should be and all that shit they put out on the market. And you guys who don't like me to curse, apologize, but it's the truth. Like, they put so much crap in the stores and on the market that gets you addicted. It's ridiculous. This is honestly, truly, like, mind-blowing amazing if you like pure, true, honest flavor and clean coconut water. So Dr. Hodap, our pediatrician, several years ago, told my son, when he was in pediatrics back then, told my son, if you can drink natural coconut water, that's the best electrolyte that you can drink. That is the best thing to hydrate your body. It has potassium in it to where it doesn't let your muscles, it helps your muscles from cramping. It hydrates your body. It's natural. I drink this probably 1 to 2 bottles a day during those 3 days of sleeping. And I'm like, I would just wake up and you cough, and you need something to soothe your throat. And I couldn't drink it cold, so I drink it just like this, and it still tastes fantastic. And I just needed something to cover my throat. I was too tired to get up out of bed to get tea or something hot. So I drink this, and I honestly feel like, this is no exaggeration, I honestly feel like if I didn't have this, that I would had probably died. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but the amount of fluids that I'm losing by peeing and not drinking anything, and then having this fever and then chills, my temperature went up to like 102. I just was in the worst situation. And I was like thinking in my head, oh my gosh, okay, so I'm not drinking enough fluids and I need to drink. And this is the only thing that I could drink. Okay, it's just something I'm putting out there. Like, if you're sick, you're getting sick, order some of this. And no, I have no affiliation at all. I forgot to mention, the first doctor, when I had bronchitis, gave me albuterol. And albuterol, it goes in a nebulizer that I have, so you put the mask on. It actually helps your lungs expand. It helps them relax. So I did the mask as well. And I have an inhaler on top of that she gave me because I do have asthma. Skip a day, go to the doctor the following day, tells me I have the flu. He gives me that medication to help me with the flu. Give me another cough suppressant. Prescribed me another inhaler, but I didn't need it because I already had the others that I have. So I'm passed out, right? Drinking my drink, passed out. My lungs. And I was so exhausted and so tired, but I wanted for you guys to hear what my lungs sounded like. And I don't know, maybe somebody can explain this, but I don't know if it was the mucus that you're hearing, or this is just how my lungs sound, but I'm sleeping like that, right? Like completely like out. And I kept hearing this crackling noise. And I'm like, what the freak is this? This crackling noise. Their door opening, like something's moving, you know, and it would wake me up. I'm like, I must be losing my freaking mind. Then I realized it was me. And I took the camera and I put it right next to my mouth and my chest. And this is what it sounds like. Isn't that crazy? I don't know if that's normal. It has never happened to me. Within the time frame of these 3 days of me being down is when my lungs started cramping. And when I say that, I literally mean like severe cramping. And I've never experienced this in my life. But okay, let's say this is my leg, right? And you know, this is your calf. And you know, when you get a Charlie horse in your calf, the muscle just completely locks up, right? And you're like, oh, you know, you're dying, right? Because it hurts so bad. And you're trying to stretch, but so this is it. This whole side right here in the bottom of the lung, and this whole side right here, even the back right here, like massive cramp, like massive Charlie horse, where you're like, you know, and you're like, oh shit, and then you have to like stretch and you're like moving your body this way to try to get the cramp to go away. Of course, I felt it here in my chest, as I still kind of do, but to have your sides where you even touch it and it hurts, or that back, more the sides than the back, and the bottom of the ribs, can somebody explain? Can somebody explain? Because I'll tell you what the next doctor said. Okay, so massive cramping of my lungs. And then you can hear the whatever, the crackling, right? I'm like, within these 3 days, I felt like I was going to die. Like when it flourished, I felt like I was going to die. Because I could not, I could breathe. Everybody has oxygen come in and out, but I felt like I couldn't, you know? For some reason, I was like, you know, like feeling like I was passing out. When I would try to wake up, I was passing out. And this even continued on to day 4. And I felt like, what is up? I feel like it's not going in. It's not going in. Well, when I had gone to that doctor and he prescribed me all those medications, I forgot to mention that he also told me that my blood oxygen level was 93, I think it is, which is low. Now imagine if it was 93 and I felt like I could breathe when I was with him, what my blood oxygen level must have been like when I felt like I couldn't breathe. And for some reason, I'm better during the daytime. And as soon as the sun starts setting, everything gets congested. It's always been like that with me. For some reason, everything gets congested. So I'm sitting there. I'm like dealing with these lung cramps, this crackling, the whole bit. On day 3 or day 4 of having the flu, mind you, this is already 2nd week, my son got sick. And you could hear him coughing and coughing and coughing. And then Eric started getting sick. So I'm like, great. And I got a new puppy on top of it, okay, that I couldn't manage or take care of. So the puppy tore up the whole house in the backyard while I was down sick. 5 days of having the flu. I finally was like, I feel better. I feel better. I'm going to go. I'm going to get up. I'm going to go get medication for my son and my husband, right? I feel better because, you know, I had told Eric to go get some Mucinex. Yes, that is one of the most important things for me to tell you. Besides the electrolytes, if I didn't have Mucinex 1200 milligram extended release tablets, you'd probably be burying me right now, honestly. And I want to clarify something. Everybody says, oh, yeah, I bought Mucinex. Well, Mucinex is technically guaifenesin. And when I say it's like saying, go buy some Tylenol. Tylenol is technically acetaminophen. So I told Eric, go buy some Mucinex. We're running low on it. The Mucinex, the guaifenesin, is the only thing that helped my lungs from not collecting more mucus in them. Okay, I need you to keep in mind that you 100% cannot lay flat on your back. You will die, okay? You will die. I'm not joking about that. Anytime, even now, and it's the end of 3 weeks, even now, if I lay on my back, it gets more pressure, I get more buildup, I wake up choking and coughing uncontrollably, and it won't come up. So I have been sleeping on my side, elevated, for 3 weeks now. And it is not the most comfortable. It's the only thing that could help without everything collecting and damaging my lungs more. Okay, so getting back to Mucinex. I told Eric to go to the store. He came home with a bunch of stuff. Let me show you. You can debate this all you want, but the Advil liquid gel, if you want an ibuprofen that's going to kick in right away, you are in the maximum pain. Remember, you can take 800 milligrams of ibuprofen. And when I went to my pharmacist, I asked my pharmacist, so Motrin is ibuprofen, and this is ibuprofen. And then you have the Walmart brand that's cheaper in the hard tabs. Can I take this one instead? Can I take the liquid? Is it the same? Does it affect you differently than the pill? And she said, no, this is just the same. It's just quicker acting. So if you're in tremendous pain, this is my favorite go-to one. So if you mix this, you got this, your Advil. And if you're scared, just take the recommended dose, 2 pills. That's 400 milligrams. I do 8 personally myself with the guaifenesin. 1200 milligram release, and at nighttime your Benadryl. You will have a fighting chance. Airborne is just a nice supplement to drink that will help give you more vitamins and minerals just to help boost your immunity if you want. I did forget to mention that the second doctor, hold on 1 second. No. Noche. Behave. Noche, behave. What? I need you to be quiet. Shh. I did forget to mention this nasal spray is called Ipratropium. It's a nasal spray, but it helps open the lung capacity as well. This is what the second doctor gave me, and the one that diagnosed me with the flu. This, I would say, honestly, spend the $5 and get this. Get this. You go. And it's just the actual vapor fumes. It does so well with helping you with that how you feel in the decongestion. It just gives like that menthol all the way through. I love this. I will sniff this quite often. I love this. Here's the next medication. It's called Amoxiclav, 875 to 1200 milligrams. This is the antibiotic, the one that I'm on now. The cough syrup that the doctor prescribed is called benzenate, right? So this is the first one I was given at 100 milligrams. The second time they gave me the same thing. And then the third time they gave me benzonate 200 milligrams tablets. And they're very, very small. It says take 2 to 3 times a day. This is what they look like. You can see they're just tiny little pills. Some people like this, but all it is aspirin and a cough suppressant warmed up. You can do better buying the stuff separately and having it more potent. The Benadryl pink ones that I get the clear ones, but if I have to get the pink ones, I will. The antibiotic that I was given right here, here's the name. And it's like, this is like prednisone, but this is its own name. This is called Bromfen, PSEDM. This is also another cough suppressant and antihistamine. Zinc, just to add it into a daily routine. Since I've taken prednisone before, I had a little bit left. Prednisone, which is kind of like that. It's almost pretty much the same thing as this. This here, the daytime severe cold. This here is just a cough suppressant. Only 400 milligrams of guaifenesin to break up the chest. Remember, I want you to take 1200 milligrams extended release capsules. Tylenol, and not even the max amount of Tylenol. So not the max amount of Tylenol, not the max amount of guaifenesin, and not the max amount of cough suppressant. And it has a nasal decongestion. So yeah, a lot of people buy it thinking this is going to help them. Yeah, it's just going to take the edge off, but why not just go buy the actual pills that are the maximum dosage? And right here, you see this? Bromfen N pseudo dextro HBr syrup. This is like everything as far as like your antihistamine, which is like your Benadryl, your cough suppressant as well. And this helped a little bit with that cough, a little bit. Still have it, so obviously a little bit. This is the albuterol to open up your lungs if you're having a hard time breathing. This one, right, you're like, oh, it says Mucinex. Well, no, this is the Mucinex I was telling you guys about. This is guaifenesin, right? This is 1200 milligrams guaifenesin. And you think, okay, because Mucinex, that's what they advertise to break up the chest. Well, this here is just acetaminophen, which is Tylenol. This is a cough suppressant and an antihistamine, which is great, but it has none of the main ingredient to help break up your chest congestion, right? This is amazing. Hey, shh, it's a new dog. This is also a knockoff brand by CVS, right? So this is DM. So DM means it's a cough suppressant. This has 1200 milligrams guaifenesin, break up the chest, and it has 60 milligrams of dextromethorphan, which is a cough suppressant, right? Yes. No. For my son, I will give him this. Noche. For my son, I will give him this and this at nighttime, right? I like to get the clear ones. The clear ones, because as soon as they see a pink pill, they're like, I don't want that, I'm gonna go to sleep. So I tell them, just take your meds. I give them these two. These help tremendously with anywhere from 400 to 800 milligrams of ibuprofen. This is a new dog, Noche. She is very loud. That combination, ibuprofen Mucinex, guaifenesin, also made from Walmart. I was upset because I told him to purchase Mucinex, but guaifenesin 1200 milligrams extended release, so he just grabbed Mucinex. And it pisses me off that companies, you know, they know, okay, Mucinex, people think like, oh, this is going to help get all the stuff out of my chest. They know that people are naive when it comes to medications. A lot of people are, like my husband was. Came home thinking, oh, this is going to help me with all this congestion in my chest. Come to find out, he bought acetaminophen, Tylenol, and a cough suppressant. And they've stuck the name Mucinex on it, something like that, you know. I went to the store. This is day 5 now. He went to the doctor. Alejandro's dying in bed. He went to the doctor. I went to the store. I'm walking through the store, and even that brisk walk, I just was like, oh, it's too much. I'm getting dizzy. My equilibrium's off. Like, and I've been suffering off and on with that for the last 2 weeks now, you know, as well. Sinuses are hurting. Everything's hurting. I took the medication, been doing what the doctor tells me to do. I still cannot get over this cough. And it's like, I almost feel like after I was done with the medications and stuff of the second week, seeing the second doctor, I started getting that taste in my mouth. Like when you know you have an infection, when you know you have a sinus infection, just that, I don't know, you know, when you get a sinus infection, it just have that nasty ass taste. It's like just nasty. So I knew I was getting a sinus infection. And Eric started pleading with me because it's week 3, starting week 3. Please go to the doctor. Go back to the doctor. Please go back. And I'm like, I'm fine. I feel much better. And he was like, your cough, Christina, you have not gotten over this cough, and it's so intense. You need to go to the doctor. Fine. I went back to the doctor. I was like, I'm getting a sinus infection because I have chronic sinusitis. I was like, and my cough is still here. And so she checked me and she was like, your lungs don't sound bad. But I'm going to treat you for a sinus infection. And I'm going to put you on Amoxiclav, which is Augmentin. That's what it is. It's Augmentin. And another cough syrup. And I'm like, ugh, or a cough pill, whatever. I'm like, okay, so today is day 3 on the medication. And I will say that my cough has gone down a little bit. It's gone down a little bit. At nighttime, it's still bad. I can still kind of taste that infection, but I know that it's being treated with the antibiotic. On top of all of this that I've been telling you guys, I've also been taking ibuprofen, and I've been trying not to take it very much because I already have a fatty liver. The ibuprofen with the guaifenesin take down inflammation and take down the mucus from gathering in your chest, causing you pneumonia or causing you more infections. So those 2 things are a must. So I would take 800 milligrams of ibuprofen every 9 hours, honestly, for like 1 or 2 days, and then I stop, you know, because I need to give my body a break. And then like 1 time a day, like I was trying to prolong it as much as I could, but I also know it helps me tremendously. Today is the end of 20 or 21 days. And I'm still taking my antibiotic and my cough syrup. And I woke up today in a coughing frenzy. Woke up, and then you go because you're coughing that much, you know. And so Eric busted in the room with his mask on. He's like, "Here's your cough pills. Take your pills." So I'm taking my pills, and you know, I just wanted to share with you guys what I've experienced with this new flu. And I haven't seen any videos talking about this new flu. And it finally came out on the news yesterday saying that the flu this year is causing more mayhem, more hospitalizations, more deaths than COVID. Who would know? Because honestly, I think the way that Eric's body is reacting to COVID is kind of like he has a super intense cold. He had one night of the chills and then the hot and the chills, but that was it. You know, other than that, he wants to be going outside doing lawn work, doing this, doing that. And I'm like, get your butt in the room. If you give me COVID, you might as well bury me right now, because I already have enough health issues when it comes to my throat closing and my lungs and my sinusitis and all this stuff. And so he's been quarantining, and then Alejandro's been quarantining as much as he can. I am not a medical professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. Some of my family members are, and I think that's why I have a little bit more knowledge of medications than other people do, just because you grow up hearing about this stuff, you know, medications and this and that, and you're sitting at the dining room table and they're talking about what color was your stool today and stuff like that, because they're all don't find it weird since they're all medical professionals. I'm going to recommend things that I would recommend for myself. And I'm going to list it right here. If you guys are getting sick like me, maybe they would help. Also, if you're trying to go like a natural remedy or things that you can do yourself, I don't know if you know this, but cactus and aloe vera, if you scoop it out of the actual plant, or even purchase the juice maybe, I know for sure if you scoop it out of the plant, is when drinking often acts as a natural antibiotic for your body. I learned this a long time ago when I was little. I don't know why. I can't give you all the specifics on it, but it acts as a natural antibiotic. Taking garlic, things like that are things that help with antioxidants. But I needed to give you guys options of things that I know will help naturally, if you can't go to the doctor, take down the inflammation or act as an antibiotic. So I'm going to list a bunch of stuff, but this for sure, guys, this is amazing. And I would honestly say a must have. If you can't get to it, if you can't order it, if it's too expensive, because I think this ginormous 16.9 ounce bottle is like $5. They also make the, yeah, I got a lot. They also make the smaller cans that are 11 ounces. If you can't afford something like that, then yeah, I would definitely tell you to take a little pinch of Himalayan salt, the pink salt. Get the coarse one, get a grain of it, just one little grain of it, and stick, you know, the ball, a little tiny ball. Stick it on the tip of your tongue. Roll that around like a you know, a marble. Roll it around. Let that dissolve, and then drink your water. And that is a natural way for your cells to open to get the water into your system, that you're not peeing it out. Pink Himalayan salt, do not buy the one that's made in China. Definitely not, because they have been known to have more metallics or more metals in them. The pink Himalayan salt has some crazy thing like 80% of the minerals that your body needs, versus table salt has no benefits to you besides raising your blood pressure. You don't want to do that when you're already sick. So those are just little tips and tricks. I'll post a few more pictures and things after the video and the quote of the day to maybe help you guys fight what I'm fighting or whatever you're fighting as far as sickness. And I would highly recommend, if you feel like you have any type of breathing problems, to ask your doctor for if your insurance will approve you to get a nebulizer, because the nebulizer with the medication, the albuterol, will help open your lungs I've had this one nebulizer since my daughter was 5 years old, and she is 20 years old. I've had it, and I've never threw it away because I knew how good it was. If you don't have a nebulizer, they also make these Vicks, well, I think Vicks makes it, one brand, but there's also these like humidifiers that can moisten the air a little bit, heat the air, but there's these small ones that are about this big, and you put a little bit of water in it. You can actually put a tiny bit of Vicks in it as well, and you put your face over it. It's like a mask that goes over your face, and you breathe in these deep fumes and this humidity to kind of open and loosen everything. Anyways, I love you guys. I wanted to come on here and tell you why I've been MIA, and why you know, you guys you haven't seen me. I love you guys. Remember, God loves you. You are an original masterpiece. And when I say that, there's nobody like you. You are created perfectly the way that you are. So own it. Love yourself. All your little quirks, all your funny habits, all that little stuff that makes you different from others. Love yourself. Love God. And remember, I love you as well. Let's go ahead and just roll on over to the quote of the day. I'm Christina Marie. I'm out. Bye.